to anywhere I could call home. Perhaps the people in London didn't appreciate that. There was sometimes good reason to think pen pushers in the Foreign Office in Whitehall were still using 19th century maps. I was looking at Jim, trying to decide how ill he really was, when there came a sudden sound like a shovelful of heavy mud hitting a wall. The compartment rocked slightly. With no lessening of speed, the express thudded the air and sped between some empty loading platforms, leaving behind no more than an echoed gasp and a whiff of burned diesel. The train was packed. You could feel the weight of it as it swayed, and hear the relentless pounding of the bogies. The compartments of the wagon-lit had been booked for weeks. The cheaper coach seats were all filled, and there were people sleeping amid the litter on the floor and propped between baggage in the corridors. 5 rail cars were reserved for the army, hardy teenagers with cropped heads and pimples. Their kit bags and rifles were under guard in the freight car. Returning to training camps after playing the sort of war games that didn't include time for sleep. Exhausted draftees. The fighting battalions had forsaken rifles long ago. Rifles were only for clumsy youngsters learning to drill. Further back in the train, there were East European businessmen in plastic suits and clip-on ties, shriveled old women with baskets heavy with homemade vodka and smoked pork sausage, stubble-chinned black market dealers with used TV sets crammed into freshly printed cardboard boxes. Coming half awake, Jim stretched out a red bony foot so that his toes pressed upon the metal divider that formed the side of a tiny clothes closet. Then he grabbed the edge of the blanket, turned away, and curled up small. "Don't you ever sleep?" he growled drowsily. So he wasn't asleep and dreaming. He simply had his eyes closed. Perhaps that was the way Jim Prettyman had always fooled me. Long ago, we'd been very close friends. One of a foursome, made up with his petulant first wife, Lucinda, and my wife, Fiona. We'd all worked for the department in those days. Then Jim had been selected for special jobs and sent to work in corporate America as a cover for his real tasks. He'd changed jobs and changed wives, changed nationality and changed friends in rapid succession. He was not the sort of wavering wimp who let a good opportunity slip past while worrying who might get hurt. "There's someone standing outside in the corridor," I told him. "The conductor?" "No, not him. Our bad-tempered conductor has assumed tenancy of compartment number 15 and he's stinking fall-down drunk and will soon be unconscious." "Slide open the door and look," Jim suggested. "Or is that too easy?" His voice was croaky. "You're the one who's dying," I said. "I'm the security expert, remember?" "Was there someone at the railway terminal?" he asked, before remembering to try and smile at my joke. When I made no move to investigate the corridor noise, he repeated the question. "Yes," I said. "Someone you recognized?" "I'm not sure. It could be the same goon I had sitting in the lobby of my hotel." "Go, man," said Jim wearily. He closed his eyes tight and with a practiced gesture bound his rosary round his wrist in some signal of benediction. I went to the door, undid the catch and slid it open, unprepared for the bright, moonlit countryside that was painted like a mural along the uncurtained windows of the corridor. There was a man there, standing a few steps away. He was about 5'6" tall, with trimmed beard and neat moustache. His woolen Burberry scarf struck a note of affluence that jarred with the rest of his attire. The trenchcoat old and stained, and a black military-style beret that in Poland had become the badge of the elderly veteran of long-ago wars. We looked at each other. The man gave no sign of friendliness nor recognition. "How far to the frontier?" I asked him, in my halting Polish. "Half an hour, perhaps less. It's always like this. They are taking us on a long detour."